Hello, everyone. So I am due for another pedicure, so I thought I would jump on and do it. I'm doing something pretty basic. I like the idea of florals on my big toe. So I've got this is Everlasting Lily. This was, I think, November's sub box last year, and I'm using all partials. Toes are the best way to use partials, or one of the best ways. So. And this, if I turn it sideways, actually, let me get rid of that was the anchor method I was using, but this actually works better without, because I'll just kind of center it and do it. This is the third from biggest strip. Makes sense. And it works pretty good for this. Whoops, sorry, bumped the camera. It's pretty good for my big toe sideways like that. I have pretty big nail beds, and so I like to use the bigger strips for my fingers, those larger nails if I can. So there's the floral. And then I have Iris-idium, which is an old one. It's not one of the new metallics. I actually haven't used the new chrome ones yet. I've heard can be pretty tricky to work with. I'll eventually get some, I'm sure, but this is an old metallic. I don't remember what these were called. These are some of the original, like shiny ones. And again, I like to do these sideways just because I can get this one little tiny baby strip. I'm not going to do anything on my fingers except for maybe art with, but on my toes, it'll do almost all of them. Doing your toes takes very little. And I actually really like how this looks on my toes. It's very bright and shiny. And after my last pedicure, it was the one with the tiny tips. That was just so neutral that it blended in. I didn't really love it. Like it was pretty. I think it'd be really pretty on as a manicure. But for my toes, I'm kind of learning what I like, but something bright colors so I can see it. Even when I'm standing and stuff. So see if this is enough for this last little toe here. I think just barely. It might be slightly short, but it's fine. And then I actually already did my other foot. And so I did basically the same thing, one strip of Everlasting Lily here, and then the tiny baby strip for these three. And then I used, this is the second biggest strip. Yeah. So the smallest one and then the next one up. I never know if I'm saying that right. And see, even that's kind of maybe tight. So we're going to turn it sideways too. Anyway, so I used the strip for that one on my other foot, basically in the same manner. And I'm just perforating with my fingers. Sometimes I will use some of my favorite tools, an orange cuticle stick. Is that what you call these? Orange stick. To kind of like you could use it to kind of perforate the edges, just like I like to do that on my fingers. You can kind of do that here. And you can also use, this is my other favorite tool, a rubber cuticle pusher, and that works really good just to kind of help smooth things out. So I kind of did it pretty much with my fingers, but these are other helpful tools that I do sometimes use on a pedicure. So yeah, I like how shimmery that is. I wonder if the new chromes, I bet there would be fun on toes. I may have to try that someday. Anyway, so that's super quick, super easy, takes very little strips. I was hoping that would use more of my leftovers up than it did, but that's what it did. And I probably will add some glitter toppers, but these like metallic-y ones tend to react oddly with those, so I probably won't do that until at least tomorrow to give it time to settle, and it may still react oddly, I'm not sure. I haven't experimented enough with that. It gets like a bubbly look to it in my experience, but anyway, so there you go. And I'll finish with something glittery and then probably a gel topper too, just to protect it. But sometimes I've done these and I don't even get to putting those on there and it still holds up pretty good. So Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys out on the next one.